Hello, welcome to my little workshop regarding slowly and mindfully eating. I'm glad you're here and glad you're taking the time to watch this. This is a key habit for healthy eating and one that often gets overlooked. So I'm excited to talk to you about it today. So without further ado, let me get into this. For those of you who don't know me, let me share my screen. I'll give you a little quick overview of my background. All right, here we go. And so, next slide. There we go. So my name is Dottie Wood. I'm a precision nutrition certified coach, and I've been in the fitness industry for about 13 years and started out as a personal trainer and worked for big box gyms, quite a few of them, and went to work for Orange Theory Fitness about 8 years ago. And about 2 years ago, my husband and I purchased an Orange Theory franchise. Even with that, for being a coach for so long, I felt somewhat frustrated that talking about nutrition for personal trainers is pretty limited on their scope of practice. So I got my nutrition certification and opened my own business, focusing on nutrition clients. So going at their health and wellness from both ends of the spectrum has been a lot more rewarding and helpful to my clients. So that's a little bit about me. But what are we here for? We're talking about slow and mindful eating. It doesn't really make a difference. Why does it make a difference? And what difference does it make? So better digestion, some of the benefits are better digestion, better hydration, greater satisfaction with your food, and easier weight loss or maintenance, which is one that I think a lot of us are interested in. On the flip side, eating quickly leads to poor digestion, increased weight gain, and lower satisfaction of food. The message is clear. Learning to eat more slowly is one of the simplest yet most powerful things you can do to improve your health. Sensing satisfaction. So this is one of the reasons why we do this. Eating slowly gives your body time to realize that it's full. You may have heard people talking about the 20 minutes that it takes for your body to realize it's eaten. And that's probably somewhat true. I've seen it in texts that are reputable, but it's going to be different for everybody. It might not be exactly 20 minutes. So eating slowly, again, gives your body time to realize it's full, and eating slowly also helps us feel more satisfied, which is different than feeling full or stuffed. So feeling like I've had a good meal, I'm ready to, go for a walk. I could still go for a walk. I'm not so full, I have to go lay down. So when you slow down, savor a meal, and pay attention to tastes and textures, and appreciate each mindful bite, you leave the table feeling good in your soul, even if all you ate was a bologna sandwich. Many of our clients also feel less overall stress when they eat slowly, which is a great benefit. Better digestion. Again, digestion is a chain reaction. So as soon as we see, smell, think about food, we start that chain reaction. We start salivating to prepare for putting the food in our mouth. And then saliva contains enzymes that break the food down and moisten the mouth for easier swallowing. Then the next steps of digestion keep going. So steps 3, 4, and 5. They have to get to work and get ready for the food to come. Our stomach starts to secrete more acid, and our small intestines start to get ready to move food, so forth. So don't rush the process. Surprises are not great for digestion, great for your birthday, not great for digestion. So if we rush the process, we force the GI tract to deal with stuff before it's really prepared to. Okay. So continuing to talk about better digestion, the University of Rhode Island did a study. It studied slow eaters medium speed eaters, and fast eaters. The slow eaters consume 2 ounces of food per minute, and the medium speed eaters consume 2.5 ounces per minute, and the fast eaters 3.1 ounces per minute. The fast eaters also took larger bites and chewed less before swallowing. So not only did they consume more food, but also the food wasn't digested well because they didn't chew it. All right, one of the benefits of slow eating is easier weight loss and maintenance. So another University of Rhode Island study found that fast eaters were hungrier an hour later than if they had been asked to eat slowly. Pretty interesting. I hear from some of my clients that they think it doesn't matter that if they eat slow or fast because they have portioned out what they're going to eat based on their macros. So they say, I'm going to have this amount of food. It doesn't matter if I eat fast or slow. This is what I'm going to eat. While this may be true, what they may find is that they aren't as satisfied by what they ate as they could have been. So they may find that they need a snack later that they wouldn't have had to have if they had just slowed down. So not only does eating quickly lead to greater food consumption, it satisfies less. Conversely, of course, slow eating meant less food and more long-lasting satisfaction. Some tips for slower eating. Sit down in a calm environment with minimal distractions. So don't eat while you're driving, while watching TV, texting, working. Try to pay attention to your food. I know some of us feel like we have to, but even if you could do a couple of meals a day in a non-distracted environment, it's better than no meals distracted. Choose higher fiber foods that take more time to chew, like fresh fruit and vegetables. Put your utensils down between bites. Take a moment, breathe. If you're eating with other people, make conversation. Try setting a minimum number of chews per bite. It'll feel strange at first, and it may feel like you're ready to swallow sooner, but give yourself some experimentation with that. Tips for slower eating continued. So use a smaller plate or different utensils like a dessert fork or chopsticks. If you find yourself rushing, that's okay. Put your utensils down, take a breath. If slow eating isn't a habit for you, it's going to take some practice. Find another slow eater and pace yourself with them, like little kids, chatty companions. Set aside time to eat, 20 to 30 minutes for each meal, and preferably even longer at dinner. So don't just eat when you get around to it or treat it as an inconvenience. You're fueling your body and maybe spending time with friends and family. That's important and deserves an appointment. So this is another key habit, eating to 80% full, stopping at the Goldilocks point when you aren't stuffed, but satisfied. So if you aren't eating slowly, you may blow right past that 80% full point. The exact number isn't important. 80% full is the concept of eating a little less than you normally would. 80% full is about two things: how much you eat and how it feels to eat that much. By doing this practice, you'll learn what portion sizes work for you, what it feels like to be physically hungry and satisfied and full. In the beginning, you might not know what 80% full is for you, and you might not know what it feels like or what portion sizes work the best. So this is about experimentation and finding out what is right for you. How do you do that? How do you eat to 80% full? Take a bite, stop, take a breath, check in with yourself. How do you feel? Is that enough food? Well, if it's one bite, probably not. If it feels like another bite is a good idea, take another bite and then repeat. If you feel like you might be around 80% full, see if you can stop. The better you are at slow eating, the easier it is to catch that 80% full mark. In the beginning, as you learn what 80% looks like and feels like, go slow. bonus round. So certain foods are actually designed to make us overeat. You know the feeling, one salty crunch turns into 100, and suddenly you're licking cheese dust off your fingers and wondering what's wrong with me. Actually, it's normal to feel like this, like you can't stop. For certain things, today's hyperpalatable food is creating a modern day food crisis, one that's leaving us feeling sick and out of control. So if you are overeating, it's not because there's something wrong with you or your willpower. Here's the truth. There's a whole industry dedicated to creating food that is hyperpalatable, food that is so tasty, it's nearly irresistible. Your body and your brain are responding exactly as they're supposed to. It's supposed to feel almost unnatural to stop eating these foods. That's how we're hardwired. But we're not talking about foods like celery stick, whole grain rice, whole brown rice, or baked salmon fillets. How often do you hear yourself saying, I ate so much steamed asparagus, I just couldn't stop myself? That's right. You don't say that. We're talking about processed food. Processed foods are foods that have been modified from their original whole food form in order to change their flavor, texture, and shelf life. Often they're altered so that they hit as many pleasure centers as possible, from the brain to the mouth to the belly. Processed foods are highly craveable, immediately gratifying, fun to eat, and easy to overconsume, and often cheaply easy to overconsume. They will look and feel different from their whole food counterparts, depending on the degree to which they're processed. So going from corn on the cob to a corn tortilla to, corn chips, that's different stages in the processing, which is more easily to overeat, probably the corn chips. That is that. Questions or next steps, please contact me. If you would like a link to get copies of my ebooks and recipe books, I can share with you a link to my next 6-week self-paced nutrition program called the Real Food Reboot. A link to join the waiting list for my group nutrition program starting late this summer. Or if you would like to schedule a one-on-one in-person or virtual 20-minute consultation, we can discuss nutrition coaching. I've got my email right there. Or just direct message me on social media. Have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed this.